The host is the government of Qatar. We'll hear from Qatar's foreign minister. And also, a little bit later on, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton speaking at the forum. We expect her remarks at 8:30 Eastern. Live right now on C-SPAN 2.
Unfortunately, I can't see any of you because these lights are in my eyes, but it's wonderful to have you all here. Those of you who have been with us for the day in our intensive sessions, both our plenary sessions and dialogue sessions, I hope you have enjoyed them, and I hope you have been stimulated to continue the dialogue tomorrow. As many of you will know, this is the first time that we've been able to hold the forum in Washington. And it's a special opportunity to welcome others from the Washington policy-making community, from the diplomatic community, from the American-Muslim community, from the Congress and Senate. And so to all of you, we extend a very warm welcome as well this evening. The way we're going to proceed is as follows. We're going to have two speeches before you get to eat your dinner. And then we will have dinner, and then we'll be joined by the Secretary of State while we're having dinner, and she will then address you as the after-dinner keynote speaker. It's in that context that I want to extend a very warm welcome and introduce you to Ahmad bin Abdullah Al-Mahmoud, who is the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs in the government of Qatar. Minister Al-Mahmoud has a distinguished career in the Qatari Foreign Service, including as Qatar's ambassador to the United States in the 1980s. He then rose to be the Undersecretary in the ministry, and in 1995 he was appointed as Minister of State for Foreign Affairs under the Foreign Minister Sheikh Ahmad bin Jassim. We're very glad to have the opportunity to to hear from Minister Al-Mahmoud tonight. Sheikh Ahmad bin Jassim would very much have liked to join us. Unfortunately, he has urgent business in Doha, where he is hosting the contact group for Libya, where Qatar is playing a very important leading role in the coalition that is involved in protecting the citizens of Libya. Sheikh Ahmad bin Jassim has been a partner of the Brookings Institute in establishing the U.S. Islamic World Forum back in 2003. He has been a steadfast supporter of our efforts here, and it's only because of this urgent business that he was unable to join us this evening. But we are very grateful to Minister Al-Mahmoud, who kindly agreed to join us and deliver a special presentation on behalf of the government of Qatar. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Minister Ahmad bin Abdullah Al-Mahmoud.
Good evening, everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am going to speak in Arabic, and so I will start. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. أصحاب السعادة السيدات والسادة السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أود أن أحييكم وأرحب بكم في منتدى أمريكا والعالم الإسلامي، والذي ينعقد هذه السنة في العاصمة الأمريكية واشنطن بعد 7 دورات انعقدت في الدوحة. واليوم نتشرف بالمشاركة في أعماله يدفعنا الأمل والاقتناع بأهمية
and being inspired and hopeful and believe that the importance of succeeding in achieving the forum's goals and projects to the best of the interest of the Islamic countries and the U.S. Last year, we proposed a number of recommendations around the general policies that governments and nations should implement through practical measures developed by the forum. We agreed to build partnership and solidarity between the Islamic world and the United States. We might have different views on the reality today and deciding how the situation would proceed in some Muslim countries. But we hope that reform be the foundation that we build upon after all current crises and revolutions in the Middle East have ended. The Muslim world might have witnessed such events in various locations in the past and overcome outcomes. They may have suffered from the lack of transparency, the absence of public engagement, undermining of public opinion, individual capabilities or civil rights, and the rule of law. Islam is a centrist path amid totalitarian and despotic autocratic regimes. Achieving development and fighting extremism and ensuring media responsibilities, we must, and fighting occupation, we must bear that in minds in the ways we act to achieve more humane and powerful society. We still aim, through this forum, to achieve effective partnerships in actions, not by words. We should build on all previous achievements and on the major efforts and huge sacrifices made towards reform to build more civilized and prosperous and stable societies. The relationship between the United States and the Islamic world is not new. At this point of difference exists. Common ground should be built upon. It is important to objectively understand the situation facing the Muslim countries in order to narrow the gap between both sides and to have mutual understanding on resolving conflicts. Mr. President Obama, in his Cairo speech, tackled 7 key issues in the U.S. Islamic relations, including political, socio-economic issues. He highlighted those common interests and mutual respect, and the fact that America and the Islamic world never contradict each other, but they share common principles. They meet on those on the common principles, and they are the principles of justice, progress, tolerance, human dignity, which consist a sound basis for the relationship without the need for rivalry. On this occasion, I would like to confirm that these responsibilities are not limited to resolving political issues, where the U.S. role is apparent, but it includes other responsibilities such as promotion of democracy, political reform, economic and social development, combating fanaticism, and enhancing the role of civil society. Here, we must recall the importance of resolving the Middle East issue, especially the Palestinian problem, with a just and comprehensive solution based on international legitimacy, resolutions and principles of land for peace and relevant other references. The current situation in the Middle East makes us very wary and cautious not to fall behind the views of dominations of economic interests only, but to build on the developments in social, intellectual, political, and economic conditions in the region. It was very clear from the onset that the condition could not be sustained as they were, and that reform was coming, and the demands of the people would definitely surface. And geopolitical changes are issues that can be bypassed. The wisdom requires us to interact. And justice, when justice was due, the justice was denied. When development was needed, there was no development. When education was necessary to improve, it did not occur. Even freedom was not respected. And democracy and participation was due. It never happened. Therefore, we indeed are seeing today a new Middle East. Finally, I thank you all and all those who contributed to organizing this forum, specifically the U.S. Department of State and the Brookings Institute. I wish you good luck in all the proceedings, and we will be pleased to see you in Doha next year. May God's peace and blessings be upon you.
There you have it. We're going to be in Doha next year. Is that right, Mohammed? Thank you very much, Minister Al-Mahmoud. I couldn't help but reflect as you were speaking about how reform, indeed revolution, has come to the Middle East and how it is a new Middle East that we face, just how dramatic the changes have been in that part of the Muslim world over the last 3 or 4 months. And we are indeed in a very new situation. One could never imagine that the pace of change could happen so fast, or that it could spread throughout the Middle East and Arab world. One could never have imagined that the Arab League, the GCC, and the OIC, the Organization of the Islamic Conference, would call upon the international community, led by the United States and NATO, to intervene in the Arab world on behalf of Arab citizens against a regime in Libya that was killing its citizens. And so we are indeed in a new Middle East, and because the Middle East is at the heart of the Muslim world, we're in a new Muslim world as well. And it's in that context that the Organization of the Islamic Conference now has come into its own in a very important way. And that's why we're very glad that the Secretary General, Ekmeleddin Ishanoglu, has joined us for this conference and is going to say a few words of greeting on behalf of the Organization of the Islamic Conference. Secretary General Ishanoglu is a distinguished Turkish academic. He's written numerous books, articles, and papers in Turkish, English, and Arabic on science, the history of science, Islamic culture, Turkish culture, relations between the Muslim world and the Western world, and Turkish-Arab relations. He's been with the OIC since 1980, originally as the founding Director General of its Research Center for Islamic History, Culture, and the Arts in Istanbul. As the Secretary General of the OIC, he has boosted the organization and helped it to play an important leadership role in the Muslim world. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Secretary General Ekmeleddin Ishanoglu.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Dinner speeches are often not palatable as much as the dinner itself, and given the indication of today's executive meal, I don't believe that I would be able to compete with it. However, I assure you that I would not keep you too long before the delicious meal before of us, and I would not like to spoil your appetite. We have already witnessed the excellent interactions this morning in the course of the first day of the forum. As we say, morning shows the day, therefore we could easily guess how meaningful would be the remaining 2 days of the forum. I have already mentioned in the morning that the United States Islamic World Forum indeed is an excellent and timely initiative given the current developments in international affairs. At this point, I would be amiss not to mention the role of His Highness Sheikh Ahmad bin Khalifa Al Thani, the Emir of Qatar, for his visionary leadership as well as the patronage of such admirable events. My sincere thanks go to the Brookings Institute for their commendable partnership, which made the forum a regular annual event of everybody's likings. Ladies and gentlemen, we can talk about a lot of options or ways to find solutions to problems and challenges that we face in today's world. This evening, I would like to focus only on a single aspect of the possible solutions to our problems with specific reference to core human values. This is a fact that cannot and should not be ignored. It should rather be strengthened by the West and the East, or for that matter, the United States and the Islamic world alike. I have always been advocating that political concerns at the international level should not be dealt with from security perspective only. We need to identify the root causes of these challenges that we are facing and address them from the angles which would be effective in mitigating these challenges. In OIC, we worked from this perspective and came up with two documents, the 10-year Program of Action in 2005 and the new charter of our organization in 2008. These two documents identify inter alia the issue of underdevelopment coupled with social injustice and international biased behavior as some of the causes that need to be addressed with priority. Threats to world peace today are mostly from crises emanating from different conflicts. I believe that not only resolution of conflict, but eradication of conflicts to a certain extent is possible, just by addressing the core social concerns of the present world. We can advance resolutely towards achieving this cherished goal. Had we been utilizing only a certain percentage of the efforts and resources that we invest in resolving conflicts through military means or force measures for eradication and alleviation of poverty in our societies, it certainly would have better impact on conflict resolution around the world. By ensuring the basic rights to food, clothing, shelter, and health to our people, we would have done a better job in reducing the sense of frustration among our people, which eventually pushes them towards radical ideas and means igniting conflict situations. Education, youth, and women development and empowerment, freedom of opinion and expression, respect human dignity come at the next stage. All these factors translate themselves in two words coined by OIC, which are keys to the effective way of facing the challenges of current century: moderation and modernization. Moderation comes to a society through the development of the middle class, a middle class that has the taste of modernization through proper education, better understanding, and open outlook can usher the era of moderation in societies that remained backward and bring them in a complete end to radical and extreme thoughts and processes. However, we should not forget that not only social injustice, but international biased treatment to certain societies vis-à-vis others also plays a crucial role in creating crisis that threatens the global peace, stability, and security. Ladies and gentlemen, Let me conclude by mentioning what we at the OIC are doing in these areas. We have created a $10 billion poverty alleviation fund for the destitute of our member states. We adopted a special program for the development of Africa. We initiated mega projects for the development of science, technology, and innovation sector of the Muslim world. We established Center for Women Development towards their proper empowerment in the society. We created partnership with the United States and other development partners on health, science and technology, and other sectors. We ensure respect of core human values, as suggested by Islam. We finalized the establishment of an OIC Independent Permanent Commission on Human Rights to promote human rights issues in our member states. We respect religious freedom and succeeded in creating broad-based consensus on combating religious profiling, stereotyping, and intolerance. Our cooperation with the United States, with specific mention to Secretary Clinton's personal involvement in the matter, encourages us to further our engagement at different levels between the United States and the Muslim world. We encourage good governance in our member states. We believe with sincere efforts invested in them, this step would definitely yield better results, which would help us to live in a world of peace, security, and stability. Please enjoy the evening, and bon appétit, afiyat olsun, bilhana wa shifa, and thank you all for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Secretary General. He has literally sung for his supper 3 times today. We're very grateful to you. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy your meal. We'll be back with the Secretary of State as soon as you're finished. Thank you.
We're breaking away here so the participants can have dinner. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is scheduled to speak at this forum on change in the Middle East later tonight. We'll have her remarks live in about an hour, 15 minutes from now at 8:45 Eastern. This is the first time this U.S. Islamic World Forum is convening in Washington. And on tomorrow's Washington Journal, we discuss congressional budget negotiations